This is a step-by-step but advanced guide to using gels in the studio for creative, stylized portraits. Let's get into it. Hello, my friends. My name is Pye. Welcome to another MagMod tutorial. This is the lovely Kiara. We will link her up so y'all can give her a follow. Look, we have a lot to talk about. I want to get right into this. My first place to start is, I would say, when we're going to do something like this in the studio, I often like to start with just a main light, okay? Just start with whatever light configuration you want to go with. For me, here's what we're going to do. I have the ProPhoto B10 Plus right here on a stand. And what I want to do is mount this as a butterfly light with the 42-inch MagBox kind of coming directly overhead. So that's going to be our primary light source. Let me go ahead and get that set up. All right, let's start with this guy. And because it's so freaking simple to set up, I can talk to you while I go. I really can't. Even when things are simple, I can't talk while I do it. It's a problem.
Yeah, man, you gotta stay focused.
So we're gonna go ahead and mount this right here, and this is gonna be our butterfly light. So obviously, I'm not lighting a turtle.
I like turtles.
Now, pro tip, lift the high one first, and then the bottom one. Really, I'm just placing this right now so we can get an idea of the kind of light that we're kind of going for in terms of that main light. And it'll also be our before. I've got my Canon R5 with a 2870. I'm gonna go 1/200 at 5.6, 400 ISO. And let's get our shot. If I mentioned, by the way, that this is a butterfly light, I'd say it's a little bit different. This is more like just an overhead light. And I have Kiara standing right at the edge of this. So if you actually come in a little bit closer, I'm positioning her basically at the edge of the softbox. So this side of it can kind of wrap into the face just a little bit, right? I love the larger softboxes for setups like this. This is my starting place. So before I really start thinking about color and what I want to do with modification, I kind of think about what do I want to do compositionally? Where do I want my main light to be? I basically go through the camp process. You guys can follow that though in other videos. I want to get to the color portion of this. All right, so with a basic idea of maybe what I want to do compositionally, maybe where I want to place my main light, I really don't know much else. This is where I sit down and I'm going to start choosing an actual color palette. My favorite tool for this is Adobe Color. What you're gonna do with this is select basically a key color, and Adobe's gonna spit you out other colors based on a specific color harmony that you select. So what I'm gonna do is say, what key color do I want? For this, I kind of think it'd be fun to play with purple. Why purple? Well, it's really just kind of subjective. By the way, you can choose these colors based on anything, right? I can choose my primary color based on what she's wearing. I can choose it based on how I'm feeling. I could choose it based on maybe if she has a brand and I want to match what that brand is. It doesn't matter. But for right now, I want to go with purple. So let's go ahead and set this to a purple. After I do that, I'm going to choose the color harmony that I want to use. And the three that I think are the most common, the three that I typically use, is basically analogous, monochromatic, and complementary, okay? So analogous means colors that are close to your primary color on the color wheel. So I've selected purple, so it's giving me kind of these magenta to orange and kind of a blue to, sort of a purple to a blue on the other side, right? These are all colors that are gonna look fairly harmonious with each other. Let's say I wanna go away from kind of harmonious colors. I wanna go with something very contrasty, something that kind of stands apart from each other. Well, I can do that by selecting a complementary color. Complementary colors are gonna contrast with each other. So if I have purple selected, it kind of gives me this greenish tone at the top. And by the way, I'm slightly colorblind. So if I identify a color that's not quite what you're seeing, bear with me, please. But this is also how you get to a lot of Hollywood's color effects, right? If we choose specific toning, like if I choose a green, then it kind of gives me an orange on the complementary side. This is where you come with kind of that orange teal color grading effect that you see oftentimes in Hollywood movies, and there's various different schemas, right? If I want something that's very kind of harmonious, that kind of is all in the same color line, like something that you might see in a movie like Dune, then I would go with a monochromatic color scheme. That doesn't mean that everything is black and white. It means that everything falls within the same line or the same shade of color. So if I'm choosing purple, it's giving me a row of different purples that would blend and go along with that. So we get an extremely harmonious look to the colors within the scene. This is the place where I begin. For this one, I'm gonna go with an analogous color tone. So these are gonna be kind of harmonious, but also a little bit contrasty, somewhere kind of in between these. And I like the red that it's kind of spitting out. So I'm gonna go with purple and red. This is where I'm gonna go to my MagMod Dome Gels. And I'm gonna select the Dome Gels that basically best fit this. And you can put them up next to Cooler if you like, but I have mine selected out here. So for this one, for our main light, we're gonna use this. It's my purple-ish Dome Gel. I'm gonna go ahead and lower this guy. Very smart of you to move out of the way, Kiara. And check this out. There's a handy dandy zipper right here. All I gotta do is open it up, pop it in, they're good to go. We've got our stand secured, and now this is where I'm gonna play with just one light. I wanna get my one light set up the way that I'd like it before I start adding complexity to my scene, okay? So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna take just a quick little test shot to see what we've got. And actually, I like the darkness of it. The one thing I don't want you guys to do is, I don't want you guys to actually place it in. I'm gonna power it up by like 3 stops, okay? Here's the interesting thing about color with light, right? We're used to basically the way you color is when you add colors together, you move your way closer to black, right? With light though, you move your way closer to white. So the more power, the closer you're going to white, okay? So we have to think that if we want more richness in color, then we actually darken things down. If we want more light, more whiteness in it, then we brighten things up, okay? Here, what I want for this primary, this key light, I want this to be a little bit on the darker side. I don't want it to be kind of bright. I want to create a very moody look overall. So I don't want my light to be bright. I'm actually going to bring it down about 2 stops. And we're going to go right to here, okay? And this is fantastic. This is kind of right where I want it. It's at a place where I could actually play with this and do a little bit more with it in post, but I dig it. Once I have that main kind of figured out, and by no means are we to a final shot yet, this is where I'm going to go to my second light. So let's go over here. For my second light, the big thing here is that I'm going to start mixing those colors. So where our key was that purple, I'm thinking analogous, and I'm thinking of that red that I liked. So I'm going to go to a red dome gel on this. For our modifier here, let's go ahead and grab the new Beauty Dish. I'm going to pop this on. You can use really anything you'd like, but I have the Beauty Dish. It has a grid on it that lets me control light. It's a bit larger and I like that. I'm going to place this on this side. I'm aiming this right towards the back of Kiara. So Kiara, stand right where you were. I'm probably going to give her a pose that gives her a little bit of an angle towards this light. And this is kind of angled or aimed right towards her right now. Okay. Maybe a foot above where she's at. So the light kind of has a top down direction just a little bit. Now Kiara, you're already getting advanced with it. Let's calm down for a second, okay? Let's take a little shot here. So now we start to get some of that color effect in there, and I can kind of go, okay, is my key light a little bit too bright, or maybe do I need more light on that second light? And I think I do need more light on that second light. So let's power it up a little bit. I'm gonna go up 1 stop. Okay, we start getting some nice tone and color on the skin. I wanna get this as close as possible, obviously in camera, but I have so much control when I do colors like this inside of Lightroom, because you know, inside of Lightroom, you have not only your highlights and your shadows, your whites, your blacks, your basic tone settings, right? But you also have tone settings over precise colors, your HSL. So when you gel like this, you have complete control. So if something's a little bit bright, a little bit dark, not quite the right hue, Lightroom's beautiful for this. So now as I look at the image, I'm like, this is really nice. It's about where I want it. I'm just missing something on that right side. When I look at the right side of the image, I'm like, I kind of need a little bit more over there. So we're gonna do this. I'm thinking that we're gonna keep our primary color, that purple in the front, and we're gonna bring those reds, those deep reds, oranges, again, colorblind. Don't bother with me. But I'm gonna make those same colors kind of coming from the back match up, right? So I've got the same color of dome gel right here. We're gonna use the Zoom XL. We're gonna pop this guy on. Okay, I'm gonna place my dome gel right inside. Bing, bang, boom. Bing, bang, boom. Kiara does not know my dad sayings. It makes me feel old. We're gonna aim this right towards the back of Kiara's head. You'll notice that if you were to see this setup from the side, this is actually positioned a bit more behind, okay? So I want this to be more behind because I don't want this light spilling onto the face. I want it being more of an edge light. Now, let's give it a test. I think I forgot to turn it on. Ahaha, I dig it. So I like it. It's giving me like that bit of a kicker on the right side, but I need more kick. So we're gonna go up one stop. Oh, I love that. That looks so good. And this is where I might make little adjustments here. Honestly, this is close enough to dialed that I would probably just keep shooting, make little adjustments in the edit because I have complete control there. And then now we're just gonna kind of play. Oh, I love that. That's it. I hope this was helpful. I know it's a bit more of an advanced concept. So if you have any questions, anything that you want us to do in future videos, you want to do a series on this, let us know in the comments. I read all of them. I do my best to reply as well. And a lot of my future ideas for content come from your guys' needs. As always, we're going to link up all the gear that we use below. We'll link up here as well. And hopefully we'll see you back here in a little bit. Peace.